No matter how hard we try, there are just some parts of the animal kingdom that simply cannot be comprehended by the human mind. Because every once in a while, Mother Nature likes to take us by surprise, and you're about to see just that. From a goat born with the face of a human demon, to a two-legged cow beating all odds and living a normal life, and a rare, bright pink colored grasshopper, you're about to see it all. In this video, we're taking a look at 10 rare animals that are born once every 1,000 years. Number 10. Two-legged cow. Cows might not look the part, but as they grow up, their bodies grow extremely heavy, which is why it's a good thing that these mammals have 4 legs to stand on and support themselves with. But well, not all cows are born the same, and this one is definitely an animal that's one of its kind. Born with a deformity that prevented its front legs from ever growing, people thought that this cow would soon pass away after birth. But not only did it manage to survive, this miraculous animal also learned to walk on 2 hind limbs just like humans. This way, the cow manages to live an entirely normal life, the only difference being that it does so with the absence of 2 whole limbs. Number 9. Two-headed turtle. Two-headed animals might sound like something straight out of a fantasy film, but the reason why some animals are born with 2 heads instead of 1 is because they were originally supposed to be twins in the womb. And because their embryo doesn't split the right way due to a number of reasons, instead of being twins, the animal ends up being born as conjoined twins that share a body. And that's exactly what happened to this turtle. But the fascinating part is that with its 2 heads, both the turtles have their own brains that control their side of the body. Now usually, since 2 different brains have 2 different kinds of demands and needs, animals like these usually end up dying a few days after birth. But this pair of conjoined turtles has kept it going for over 24 years, and it looks like they have no plans for stopping anytime soon, setting the record for the longest living 2-headed turtle in the world. Number 8. One-eyed Cyclops goat. Goats are some of the most adorable animals in the world. That is, if they're born with 2 eyes. One-eyed goats aren't all that common, but they're also not unheard of. The reason behind their existence is because of a rare occasion when their brains don't split into 2 hemispheres in the womb. This means that their embryo is formed with 1 optic lobe instead of 2, resulting in the animals being born with just 1 eye. The reason why animals develop this cyclops-like condition is because of their mothers being poisoned or injured while they're in her womb, which means that even with all the love and care, surviving with this condition is extremely difficult. And while most cyclops goats are born with other deformities and often even without a nose, they usually die a few days after being born. But somehow, this one-eyed goat has managed to beat the odds and is still surviving. Number 7. Duckling with 4 legs. You might have heard the story of the ugly duckling growing up, but when Donald the duckling was born with 4 legs, it was almost as if the fable were coming true. However, this duckling with its 4 limbs isn't truly ugly, it's actually quite fascinating to look at. As a result of the deformity, the duckling has a little trouble walking and gets disbalanced every now and then. But because the condition doesn't pose any kind of risk to the animal, it's easily expected to adapt to its 4 limbs and live a normal, ducky life unlike any other. Number 6. Two-headed snake. Two-headed snakes are extremely rare, but twice as deadly as regular reptiles. This two-headed structure is because of a condition known as bicephaly, which happens when a snake embryo isn't able to split into 2 identical twins. And while this condition is obviously not exclusive to snakes, this 2-headed albino Honduran is enough to outscare any other conjoined animal out there. Named Medusa, the snake moves around with both heads controlling the body and even getting into a squabble about going into the water, showing just how much coordination it must take for the animal to exist this way. Number 5. Bent-neck giraffe. With their elongated bodies and strong legs, giraffes are some of the strongest animals out in the wild. However, it seems like this giraffe managed to land itself in a sticky situation, breaking its neck. But surprisingly enough, this crooked neck isn't the result of a fight, considering the fact that the giraffe's horns are also unusually covered with hair. It's pretty obvious that this unusual neck is a birth defect. And usually, when giraffes snap their long necks like this, they're expected to die within a few hours. But this one has continued on living, even with a deformed spine. In most cases, birth defects as severe as these usually render animals unable to protect themselves against wild predators. But then again, this giraffe seems to be doing just fine. Number 4. Two-faced cat. They say cats are born with 9 lives, so that would technically mean that this cat with 2 heads is born with 18. Janus cats, named after the Roman god with 2 faces, are extremely rare and don't usually live for long, often dying within hours. But under the care of a dedicated owner, these 2 conjoined cats named Frank and Louis have lived a life as full as any other cat. With 2 mouths, 2 noses, and 2 normal eyes, Frank and Louis share a single head and brain, so their reactions to things are often in unison. And because Frank's is the only side that's connected to the esophagus, he eats for both of them, making this a partnership like no other. Number 3. Rare pink grasshopper. Bush crickets, or katydids, are some of the most common insects all over the world and are found in just about every continent. But 1 in every 500 crickets is born with a special condition that gives them a stunning pink color, allowing them to camouflage with pink and red flowers. This unusual color is a result of a genetic mutation called erythrism, which causes certain pink pigments in the insect's body to be overproduced. But despite their stunning colors, pink grasshoppers are unable to survive out in the wild because of their eye-catching color. Number 2. Muscular whippet dog. Most dog species have the ability to build a little bit of muscle with the right kind of exercise, but Wendy the Whippet has managed to outperform every other dog in the world after putting on 27 kilograms of rippling muscle, with the ones around her neck being so thick that they resemble a lion's ruff. Now, whippets are generally born with slightly different myostatin genes, which is what helps them put on tons of weight and muscle. But don't be fooled, because Wendy didn't gain all this bulk by simply working out. The real-life wonder dog was born with a rare genetic mutation that turned her into the Arnold Schwarzenegger of dogs. Sadly, Wendy passed away in 2017, but to this day, no other canine has come even close to her strength. Number 1. Human-faced demon goat. China is the land of many mythical beings, so when this strange human-faced goat was discovered in the country, it was no surprise when people from all over scrambled to take a look at the creature, some calling it a miracle of God and some calling it a curse. With the body of a goat and the terrifying face of a human, this demon goat was given birth to by an entirely normal mother, which is why its existence came as such a surprise. This condition in mammals is called cyclopia, and it tends to flatten the face of the animals, often causing nostrils and eyes to fuse into one. But well, no scientific explanation is enough to make sense of this terrifying creature. Alright, comment down below what you want to see next. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Wildly for more. See you in the next one.